Now, Swift's Smart HT construction has been around for a while now, but ever since it was launched in the top spec Elegance range, there have been a couple of complaints. Firstly, it's pretty expensive, and secondly, it's really quite heavy. So with the relaunch of the Conqueror for 2016, Swift took the decision to pop it into the Smart HT body shell, with two great benefits. It's cheaper and it's a little bit lighter. At the same time, Swift brought out a couple of new layouts for the Conqueror, and one of them is this, the 560. It uses a layout that we first saw in the Laser 652 by Coachman, which was launched last year at the February show. It features a washroom right in the middle here, and a lovely rear master bedroom. I've started on this side because look at all those windows. You can tell it's going to be bright and sunny inside this van. The services here are on the off side, and up front you've got that traditional great automotive styling that Swift has become known for, along with a lovely big gas locker. Around the back here you'll find mounting points for a two-lay bike rack, which Swift is fitting across all of its models this year, and heavy-duty steadies, which is worth pointing out are really easy to access, something you can't say about all Tourers. They're part of a generous equipment level, which also includes a gas barbecue point, an external 230 volt socket, these rather natty alloy wheels, and a receiver for an Alco secure wheel lock, although you'll have to buy the lock itself as an option or upgrade to an Elegance if you want it as standard equipment. The generous kit levels continue inside too. In here we've got Aldi wet central heating, a lovely big panoramic sunroof overhead, and a neat little pod on the front shelf here that's packed with sockets including two 230 volt points. In fact, the only thing I couldn't find in here was a USB port, which the Elegance has in that same pod. It's a really spacious lounge as well. It's perhaps going to be tight if you want more than four to sit around in here, but for a couple and a couple of their friends, it's plenty roomy enough. These sofas probably aren't really usable as single berths unless you're very, very short, but they do make up a good sized double bed for those occasional guests. Now, at the risk of sounding a little bit obsessed, there are two sockets in here as well, but if you spend a lot of time on a pitch, even a seasonal, you will really appreciate that. The kitchen area is pretty good. It's spacious. I really like the fact there are good sized big drawers for keeping all your crockery in. There's a microwave, which is sensibly sited, not ridiculously high, and not directly over the hob, which is great news. I really love this graphite black Phoenix worktop. It looks really great, and I'm told you can sand it back if you scratch it. And if you need more space, there's a huge worktop flap at the other end. There's the obligatory dual fuel hob with a separate oven and grill, and there are some thoughtful storage solutions such as underneath that oven, and on the near side, both above and below, the slimline tower refrigerator, which of course is de rigueur in a top spec van now. But for many, the real reason for buying this caravan is just behind this door. It's not hard to see why this central washroom idea has become so popular. It really does feel surprisingly spacious in here, even though this is on a single axle van. It's also helped by having a lovely bright skylight overhead and a frosted window, so there's plenty of natural light getting in. There's loads of space around the loo, which is something you can't say about a lot of end washrooms. And ahead of me, there's a big vanity unit with a huge mirror, which adds to that sense of space. There's a separate shower cubicle, which does have a small amount of wheel arch intrusion, but not enough to make it awkward, and it's all topped off by an Aldi radiator, keeping it toasty warm. But best of all, there's not one entrance, but two into this room, so it doesn't matter which side of the bed, you'll be able to come in here in the night if you need to, without disturbing your partner. Now, there's one aspect of this master bedroom that could be a bit of a deal breaker. This island bed is only 6 feet long from end to end. That said, that's not uncommon when we've got this layout. And if it's long enough for you, there's an awful lot to like about this bedroom. There are windows on either side, so it's nice and light. There are radiators on each side, so it's really warm. We've got reading lights, a useful shelf for a cup of tea or a book. And ahead of me, on the facing wall, there's a TV mount and all the aerial points you need, plus a useful shelf. There are his and hers wardrobes. That one's got the Aldi header tank in it, and this one's got the table for the lounge. That might seem a little bit of a pain, but actually the table is surprisingly light, so lugging it from the back of the van to the front isn't a huge problem. There's sets of drawers beneath, and underneath me, plenty of storage, along with the spare wheel. Well, it looks great inside and out, it's spacious, and it's got plenty of kit. So where's the catch? Well, At the beginning, we told you that it was lighter and cheaper than an Elegance, and both of those remain true. That doesn't make it particularly light or particularly cheap, however. That said, if you've got the £25,000 plus to buy one, chances are you've probably got a tow car that's big enough to cope with an MTPLM of more than 1,600 kilos. Oh, and if you were thinking of upgrading to an Elegance, well, you can't, because for now the 560 is only available in the Conqueror. And if you pick it, I wouldn't argue with you, because it's a very lovely thing.